One of the reasons I love Vermintide 2 is because of the amount of experimentation that you can do. The plug and play, the swapping of different talents, weapons, whatever. You can change many things around and test and try and do different things. And I think that's really cool. So, I present to you this scenario. What would happen if we took a team and tried to build for the maximum amount of power? Just straight power, not damage, not stagger, not cleave, not anything. Just power alone on a whole team of 4 characters. This is Power Squad. For the purposes of this experiment in Vermintide, we are going to forego talents such as Assassin, Smiter, Mainstay, and Bulwark. We're not going to take those. We're simply going to take enhanced power on all these characters just to see how much power we really can get. For science. Without any further ado, the first character of Power Squad is the Mighty Grail Knight, arguably one of the best careers in the game. His talent, Virtue of the Ideal, increases his power level by 10% for each enemy killed, stacks up to 3 times. So kill 3 enemies, an easy 30% power, lasts for a couple seconds, then, all you gotta do before it runs out, kill another enemy, boom, resets the timer, 30% power. You can keep that going throughout a whole horde. If there's enough roaming enemies, you can just kill them one by one. Keep it up. It's an easy way to have 30% power for majority of these maps. Then he's got the talent called Virtue of the Penitent, which is the repeatable quest that gives you constant strength potions. Now, I don't believe strength potions boost your power necessarily, but they do boost your weapon damage by about 50%. Plus, there's the added benefit of it being able to pierce through armor, so you might as well take this because it's going to make the entire team, not just the Grail Knight, but the entire team that much more powerful with a strength potion in their back pocket. So yes to that, absolutely. And then his final talent that I'm going to talk about is kind of a weirder one, I'd say. It's similar to Witch-Hunter Captain's Riposte. It's called Virtue of Discipline. And what it does is timed blocks, which is basically a parry, right? Increases your power level by 20% for 6 seconds. So pretty good amount of power to get. I don't know how feasible it's going to be able to time blocks all the time. But if if you're good at that kind of thing, sure, that's a free 20% power. That's quite nice. This currently brings Grail Knight up to a maximum power percentage boost of 57.5%, plus whatever a strength potion would benefit him to do. English. On to the second character, Unchained. You knew it was coming. She's a powerhouse. Guess see what it did there? No pun intended. Her passive, Unstable Strength, it increases her melee power up to 60% at high overcharge. This works in a series of 5 stacks of power. So the more overcharge you get, 1 stack, 2 stack, 3 stack, 4 stack, 5 stack, all the way up, up there past that second line is when you're doing 60% increased melee power. That does not count for range, that's melee only, but still an incredible amount of power. As I mentioned, she will be taking enhanced power, so a 7.5% boost there. And then her ultimate is called Fuel for the Fire. For each enemy hit, it increases her power by 5% for 15 seconds, and that stacks up to 5 times. So if there's enough enemies hit by this ult, you could have 15 seconds of 25% more power, bringing her total up for melee power to 92.5%. This is almost a complete doubling of her melee power, right? And then for range, if you're interested, just an increase of 32.5%. Nothing too flashy there. The third member of Power Squad is Zealot, right? It had to be Zealot, the crazed Sigmarite. His passive, Fiery Faith, increases power by 5% for every 25 missing health, and that has a max of 6 stacks, which is quite nice. So it's an easy bonus of 30% power for both melee and range for an entire mission, assuming you don't die or get healed by a teammate or heal yourself in an act of stupidity. So on this line, you have a choice between Smite and Unbending Purpose. And Unbending Purpose, yes, it is another stacker of Fiery Faith. It's a 5% increase to your power. And you might look at that and you might be like, oh, well, Power Squad, you're voting for max power. Take it, take it. And I'll say, yeah, probably, but also there is Smite. Smite is every 5 hits is a guaranteed crit. And personally, I think this has much more value than Unbending Purpose. Not just for the potential damage output, but for power as well. Because, hear me out here, if you run Smite, guess what you don't need to run on your gear at all? Crit chance. You don't need to run crit chance, which means in those spots where crit chance is, you can put power versus chaos, power versus infantry, power versus armor. You can put whatever you want. You can add more power that way. So, say you run crit chance on your melee weapon, you don't have to run that. You can take it off and you can put 10% power versus infantry, right? So instead of the 5 for all enemies, you now have a 10%, twice the amount of power for hordes, anything unarmored. That's pretty good. I think that is a better choice than Unbending Purpose. Plus, you do extra damage from those crits. To me, it's a no-brainer. I like that decision. But, of course, Unbending Purpose is a possibility because it does give power. He also has his ultimate, Face Flurry. Attacks during ult increase your power by 2% for 5 seconds, and it stacks up to 10 times. So it's a quick, short-lived 20% power at max stacks for 5 seconds, but his ult's pretty short, so you can get that a lot. Bringing his total up for power to 57.5% if you do not run Unbending Purpose, plus the crits from Smite for extra damage. Pretty solid, right? And then the fourth and final member of Power Squad is Ironbreaker. And Ironbreaker serves a different role than the rest of the members in this squad. For starters, he's not really concerned with his own power level, but he will be boosting the entire team's power level. That's kind of his focus. He's the power booster. He gives the team extra power. So his first talent, Runet's Shield, blocking increases team power by 2% for 10 seconds and stacks up to 5 times. So it's 10 seconds of 10% power for not only Barden, but for everybody, which is super dope. It can be a bit hard to get these blocks in before your team kills some stuff. So make sure to kind of run in there and push things around and get involved, get in the fray so things will hit you. Once you have those max stacks, all you need to do is block one attack and it'll reset the cooldown and it becomes much easier. But then he's got Drain Barazi Oath, right? And it increases team power by 20% for 10 seconds, which is a lot for a long time. And you can get that back pretty quickly with the Rolling Mountain. When you kill enemies on full stamina, each enemy killed is at 2% off the cooldown. So that's super nice. So you can be Drain Barazi Oathing your team quite often. So for Ironbreaker's purposes, he will be boosting his team 30% extra power, right? He himself will just have a total of 37.5%, but the team will get an extra 30%. So here are the max power totals. For Grail Knight, on his own, a 57.5%, with Ironbreaker, ulting, and max stacks of Runet's Shield, 87.5% additional power, plus the power of his strength potions. Unchained gets a whopping 122.5% increase to her melee power. That's more than double. And a 62.5% increase to her range at max. This is only when everything coalesces together. Maximum. Zealot, again, like Grail Knight, gets an 87.5% boost to his power if you don't take Unbending Purpose, plus his crits from Smite. And Ironbreaker, as I mentioned, a 37.5% boost at max. But here's the kicker, guys. This isn't even the max amount of power you can get, because this is just talents. This isn't even calculating for any power versus whatever on your gear. So you could potentially be doing 20% here, 10% there, 30% to whatever. You could do so much more power. You can have so much more power than what is shown here if you build for it. And that is the beauty of Power Squad. You can get insane numbers of power with this squad. That's it for me, guys. If you like this video, consider subscribing to this channel, liking this video, maybe leave a comment. I have a Discord. The link is in the description down below, where me and a bunch of friends play Vermintide a lot. I have over 600 people in there, so So if you don't have friends and you hate playing with randoms, hey, maybe try some of my people. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are shit. I'm not gonna lie. Some of them are shit. But most of them are pretty good, and they're pretty cool people, and we have fun, and we do stuff like this together sometimes. So that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have yourselves a lovely day.